a seat for me, and we'll commence the formalities. My name's Chad Gillies. I'm the crime manager at the Hume LAC based here at Goulburn. On behalf of the Hume Local Area Command, I'd like to welcome everybody here today and thank you our hosts at the New South Wales Police Academy. And to kick off the formalities, I'd like to call Mr. Warboys, Assistant Commissioner, Region Commander for Southern Region, up to say a few words. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Chad. And it does, it feels like I'm back in the main street talking to you way back here. But in any event, we'll see how we go. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come along here today. Mr. De Zeveland is at a funeral and sends his apologies and asked me to come along here and fill in. And as people know, my affection and affiliations with Goulburn, I was only too happy and very proud to come along and do that. Our Mayor, our General Manager, Carol, Esther, thank you so much for your presence here today, and indeed all the police and the students and our people in the community that have turned out today as well to see some of the displays and indeed celebrate what we think is a very important piece in our history as police officers. It wasn't that long ago we celebrated 150 years in terms of policing in this state, but here we are today and certainly over the last month or so and in the next couple of months celebrating what is another significant milestone, and that is 100 years of women in our organisation. You might just turn over towards the van over there and see a good friend of mine, Burt, walking across. Now Barb, you just remind me so much 32 years ago when I moved from out from the Redfern Academy. Our ladies with us, and there are only a few of those, would dress like Barb. They had their high heels on, they had their skirts on, they had their tunics on, they had a handbag, they weren't given a holster, they had to put their service pistol in their handbag with their handcuffs. There was no capsicum spray or tasers or anything like that, and dare not those ladies ever take those high heels or stockings off. And in fact, of course, you'd never see a handbag anywhere but across your shoulder because it always had a loaded pistol in there as well. And those ladies in that time, 32 years ago, came out to commands right across the state. And it was actually still in that time that I seen those ladies move from how Barb is today in a very short space of time to actually a sort of a uniform type dress. And in fact, some of the old cranky sergeants that never ever would think that they would be able to roster two ladies on a first response vehicle. In fact, they started out doing that, and they rostered one of us males in behind just in case they got into trouble or in case they couldn't do the work. And that went on for a little while, and probably over 12 months or so. In my time, 32 years ago, we actually seen very quickly our police ladies move from the handbag scenario as we see now, right through to sitting in trucks, two up our ladies, dressed very similar to the men and doing all the jobs that men actually did. And there was quite, I think, a watershed moment in time. And then we look around here today and we look at no matter what specialty group we have, whether it's OSG, whether it's our highway patrol, we have two ladies there on top of our horses. Mounted area forensic services. The list goes on and on and on. And in each one of those places in our organisation, we now have women fairly well represented. And in fact, our organisation itself has 37% female officers in our organisation right across the board, which I think is absolutely fantastic when I start to draw that back to just 32 years ago when there was such a major difference in terms of equity. I think today if we can have a look around, we'll see what the police organisation has actually achieved in terms of our women in policing. This display is something that has run from Sydney down the coast out here to Goulburn. Tomorrow it's down at far south coast. A bit later this month we go out to some of the Waggers and the Griffiths and so forth and move back to Sydney for the culmination of this celebration of 100 years. Can I just finish by saying that I think it's fantastic that this equity thing, if we want to call it that, has evolved to where it is today. But there's just one message that I always like to leave with people, and that is that I still think that no matter where we go with equity, we can never get it mixed up with common decency. And as an organisation, we can have all the equity we want, but there's no doubt in my mind, and I'll say this as long as I'm the region commander until the very last day, that ladies in our organisation deserve much, much more than equity. They still deserve the respect and considerations that all ladies should have. I still find that I can't go by without opening a door, without letting a lady in a lift, without assisting a lady to pick up something that might be a little bit too heavy, refraining from using bad language or cursing or swearing or carrying on in the presence of our ladies. And my view is, and it's very strong, that we can have all the equity and we can see that displayed here today, and that's fantastic. But still, us men, we certainly need to consider that our ladies deserve that common decency and consideration as they go about their work with us as one in policing. So thank you very much for the opportunity to come along here today. Those special guests, thank you. I'd like to now ask Marion Smith to come forward, a student police officer here at the Goulburn Academy, and just say a few words for us. Thanks very much, Marion.
Thank you, sir. So my name's Marion Smith, and I'm in my final weeks here at the Academy and hope to be attesting on May 1st, and this will see me realise a long-standing dream of becoming a police officer. I started my training as a police officer as a distance education student, which allowed me to do all the academic studies such as law and ethics while working full-time and still living at home. In January, I began down here for the second half of the training, which involved taking on many new challenges and many new skills that I hadn't done before, such as firearm training, defensive tactics and drill and parade. I'd never done any of these things before, and I did find them very challenging. And the entire course itself is very physically and mentally demanding, but I feel that that's better prepared me for the challenges that I will face as a police officer. Before becoming a policing student, I was actually fortunate enough to work for the organisation as a civilian forensic scientist, and I've been doing that for a number of years. Doing that, I saw firsthand just the difference that and impact that good policing can make for both victims of crime and the community as a whole. And I also saw the variety of exciting, unique and wonderful opportunities that a policing career can offer you. And it was ultimately those things that led to me making the decision to become a police officer. As someone who feels really strongly about working in a field that does give back to their community, I can't imagine not having made this choice. I'm excited to be joining New South Wales Police as one of the many female sworn officers, and I'll be particularly quite memorable marching out this year while we're celebrating 100 years in policing. I do feel that women will bring their own unique experience, perspectives and skills to policing, and that just makes for us for a stronger police force that we can better serve the community. Thank you very much.
I did it again, baby. Yeah!
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye.
Bye for now.